After a night of passion, my legs were still shaky as I got dressed, but thinking of his delighted reaction when he saw me made me hurry. After dressing, I shyly looked at myself in the mirror, remembering his intimate whispers in my ear last night. "Olivia, wear it for me. I like it." We had lived together for over a year, and I always fulfilled his requests unconditionally. Plus, it was his birthday today. I was willing to make this sacrifice for him. Full of anticipation, I opened the door, but instead of Jack's excitement, I was greeted by his impatient expression as he held his phone. He said tenderly into the phone, "Wait for me." After hanging up, his expression changed to disgust when he looked at me. "What are you wearing?" I was stunned. He had clearly hinted at wanting me to buy this, even putting it in my Amazon cart himself. I felt lost. The room was cold in the early autumn, and I shivered. He grabbed my lingerie and threw it at me. "Hurry up and change. My girlfriend will misunderstand if she sees." My mind went blank. I asked in disbelief, "Your girlfriend?" His face softened. "It's Sophia, the beauty from the dance club." She accepted my confession. It felt like a blow to the head. I could hardly believe my ears. Sophia was the girl he had chased for half a year in sophomore year, but then she went abroad, and he seemed to get over her quickly. I always thought it was just a passing crush, and that I was the one who truly understood him. He turned to get dressed, the scratches from last night still visible on his back. Childhood friends, with over 20 years of history between us. Living together for over a year, we ate together, watched TV, hiked, saw sunrises, wore matching bracelets, even had couple profile pictures on Snapchat. The man who had been intimately entangled with me just last night suddenly told me he had a girlfriend. What did that make me? Seeing me standing there motionless, he frowned and sneered. "What's with that expression? Don't tell me you thought we were actually a couple?" My teeth were chattering, my throat too choked up to make a sound. He threw his jacket at me, saying disdainfully, "You're just too old-fashioned. We only slept together a few times. We're both adults. Do I really need to spell out this kind of unspoken arrangement? If childhood friends were meant to be lovers, we would have gotten together years ago. Why wait until now?" I trembled violently, the chill from the floor seeping up to my chest. Holding back the ache in my nose, I forced a stiff smile. "You're right, it was just sleeping together a few times." I stiffly started to get dressed, but it was so cold I couldn't even pull my pants on properly. His phone rang. It was Sophia urging him to come downstairs. He hung up and impatiently pushed me towards the door. "Hurry up, she's almost here." I stumbled and fell flat on my face, my nose hitting the floor. Tears immediately welled up. He seemed about to help me up, but then remembered something and ran to the mirror to cover up the marks on his neck. He grumbled impatiently, "You women just love leaving these marks, as if that makes you my girlfriend." I froze, seeing his mocking and contemptuous gaze. I scrambled to my feet, just wanting to escape this room as quickly as possible. As I was about to open the door, he called out to me, "I don't want Sophia to misunderstand. Delete your fingerprint access and leave the key too." He hummed cheerfully, completely ignoring the blood dripping from my nose. In that moment, I wanted to ask him why he was being so cruel. We had chosen this smart lock together and set the passcode to our couple numbers. I bit my lip hard, holding back tears as I quickly deleted my access. When the success tone sounded, I couldn't hold back anymore. Tears streamed down my face. I fled as fast as I could. I left in such a hurry that I didn't even put on socks, walking out into the chilly autumn street in just thin shoes. Passers-by kept turning to look at me because I was crying, wearing only a thin jacket, with messy hair and a swollen nose. I didn't dare go home. I stood alone by the bridge in the cold wind for a long time, until my tears were dried by the wind. Then I got a call from work. My manager said the client needed to check a document from last year. All my files were locked in the cabinet at Jack's place. After hanging up, I reluctantly dialed his number again. The phone rang for a long time before someone picked up. I could hear noisy voices in the background. I tried hard to suppress my emotions, not wanting to sound like a jealous woman. "Jack, I left some documents at home. Can you give me the passcode?" Thankfully, he just asked what documents they were. I described them, and he hesitated before saying, "Why don't you come over? I'll give you the key." "No need, just give me the code. I'll delete it afterwards. Don't worry." He insisted. "Come get the key. I'll text you the address. Sophia's moving in tonight. I can't guarantee she won't throw your stuff out." He said it so casually, but those were all things we had bought together. I remember how nervous and happy we were when we picked out those little items. Now he was treating them like trash. I gave a bitter laugh and took a taxi to the address he gave. I entered the private room and immediately saw it was full of friends Jack and I had in common. They were all toasting Sophia. She sat in the place of honor, elegant and haughty. Her gaze swept over me with contempt. "Jack, is this your little childhood friend?" Only then did I notice Jack sitting beside her, focused on peeling shrimp for her. The plate next to her was already piled high with peeled shrimp. The man who couldn't even use chopsticks in front of me was now acting like an attentive waiter for another woman. I swallowed the bitterness in my heart and reached out my hand to him. Before I could speak, he suddenly stood up and came over to me. "Sophia, I invited her here today to prove I have nothing to hide. There's nothing between us. We're just family friends." I couldn't refuse out of consideration for our families. Ignoring my suddenly pale face, he turned to our friends. "You guys can vouch for me. She's the one who's been chasing after me this whole past year." I looked at him in shock, then uncertainly at our friends. They had all witnessed Jack's and my relationship develop. They saw us go from being inseparable to living together. We spent every important holiday together. They had all seen our passionate embraces. No one would meet my eyes. They just muttered, "Yeah, Sophia, don't misunderstand. They're just friends. Olivia's the clingy type. That's why she's always hanging around Jack." I opened my mouth, feeling a stab of pain from my fingertips to my chest. "Sophia, now do you believe me? There's really nothing between us. I've seen her looking like an ugly tomboy. Who would fall for a buddy like that?" Sophia snorted. So you're saying she shamelessly threw herself at Jack to live with him? Olivia, you're really pathetic. I jerked my head up, glaring coldly at her, about to retort. Sophia suddenly threw her phone at Jack. Prove it to me. If you don't love her, announce in all your group chats that she's the one who chased you, so no one will misunderstand. I froze in shock. Jack and I had gone to the same schools since childhood. We had so many mutual friends. We were in almost all the same group chats. That was my entire social circle. Jack seemed to hesitate too. He glanced at me furtively. I bit my lip hard, past caring. Sophia, there's nothing between Jack and me. You don't need to worry or test me anymore. I won't contact him again. But Sophia just sneered again. If there's nothing, what are you afraid of? Jack, don't tell me you're too scared. Was it a lie when you said you only love me? Jack glanced at me quickly and muttered, sorry. He picked up the phone and right in front of me, opened one group chat after another. Listen up everyone, there's nothing between Olivia and me. I only love Sophia. Please don't spread rumors about us anymore. Sophia is my only girlfriend. My phone started buzzing non-stop, vibrating so much my hand went numb. My heart felt numb too. When he finally finished, Sophia patted his head like rewarding a dog. I heard Miss Olivia plays piano. It's Jack's birthday. Why don't you play something to liven things up? I looked sharply at Jack. Only he knew I played piano. He also knew that I could no longer play after my fingers were damaged saving him. That year, there was a fire in the school gym equipment room while Jack was moving equipment inside. No one dared to go in, but I forced open the red-hot iron door with my bare hands. I had always loved arts. Dancing and piano came naturally to me. Though I never had formal training, I was quite talented. But after that incident, my fingers were fused from the burns. I could never play piano again. I still remember when the doctor broke the bad news. Jack's hands trembled as he gently stroked my face. Olivia, I'll protect you forever from now on. Those words still echoed, but the person had changed. Catching my pained and shocked gaze, he looked away uncomfortably. Sophia sneered. I heard you used to play for Jack all the time. I guess I'm not worthy. She made as if to leave. Jack immediately stopped her and coaxed her to sit back down. Then he came over to me and said in a low voice only I could hear, Olivia, just play something for show. Sophia just got back. Don't make her lose face in front of my friends. I said shakily, Jack, you know I can't play piano anymore. At a party years ago, someone had also urged me to play. Jack angrily smashed a glass to make them shut up. Jack gritted his teeth, his voice turning cold. Then leave. But you won't get your documents. Those documents are important, right? Didn't you always want a promotion? An icy chill ran through me. So he knew. Had he forgotten I gave up a overseas assignment for him, ruining my chances at promotion? I looked at him, my eyes burning and nose stinging. The boy I loved had completely changed into someone I didn't recognize. Something inside me slowly shattered. I lowered my head and gave a bitter smile, holding back tears. Fine. I walked to the piano and slowly sat down, gently placing my hands on the keys. It had been 5 years since I touched a piano, but I felt no joy, only numbness and sadness. As expected, even a simple happy birthday came out discordant and awful. Whispers broke out in the room. I heard Sophia's friend snicker. Look at her hands. They're like chicken claws. If I were her, I'd be too embarrassed to keep playing. Sophia, why don't you play instead? The next moment, Sophia stood up and came over, her voice haughty. Miss Olivia, what a coincidence. I also learned piano, and even won some small awards. She shoved me aside and sat down. Her long fingers quickly produced a melodious tune. Jack led the applause, and the room immediately erupted in enthusiastic clapping. It made me feel even more like a pathetic clown. When she finished playing, Sophia stood up. Jack immediately went over to take her hand, looking at her adoringly. Sophia, you play so beautifully. Sophia glanced at me meaningfully. Jack, you should eat something good. I stood in the warm room but felt chilled to the bone. This farce finally ended after Sophia's grand performance. Jack gave me the key. As I was leaving, he grabbed my arm. Olivia, don't be angry. We're still friends. If you ever need help in the future. I raised my hand and slapped him hard. Future? Tears streamed down my face. We have no future.